Hello everyone, I'm Ioannis and here is my first podcast. Heal from Within, a podcast dedicated to love, light, personal passage, healing process, a maze that I found myself all these years of living, a maze that has become part of my life, and I will break down the story later on that gave me the opportunity and to meet myself in another deeper way and explore life and all layers of her in a ritualistic way. And these podcasts will be like a guideline for myself firstly, as a suggestion. You take anything you like, you keep anything you like, and keep anything you like for you, and value, keep it in your heart, because everything comes from within, comes from harsh circumstances that I have accumulated and experienced. So heal from within. So as I said, my name is Ioannis, or any other name you can call me. It's up to you. I'm here, a voice with many thoughts. Definitely you have so many thoughts yourself now. All this time you listen to me, these last seconds, you have thoughts. The morning you woke up, you had other thoughts. Constantly we are thinking. We are thinking without knowing why we are thinking. And we are thinking because we are processing things around us. We're trying to determine what's best for us, what is impossible or possible. We plan ahead. Let's start. I have some notes over here to make my life easier, and for you and for me, as I can go on and on forever without having a full stop. So the first thing I will ask, and ask you, all of you out there, and ask yourself, where do you believe thoughts are coming from? And if these thoughts have any roots inside of you. I mean, they could have wings and fly away. Do they stay with you? Do they grow with you? And I will give my answers, at least for me, how I see it, and then you can give your own answers to yourself. The first thing I might spotlight is I feel and I think definitely thoughts are memories. Memories from the past, from early stage of living. Previously we had downloads. Before we even born and come in this world, from our mother and father, and later on when we came, we have memories when we were 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, that they are following us and growing with us. So I'll give you a small example, a particle of memory. I was 7 years old, and unfortunately I have to witness my father hitting and speaking rudely and acting violently towards us, me and my sister and my mother, when I was 7 years old. So I might say that was the earliest memory, thought that I have from my life, and that stayed with me, grown with me, became part of my life, part of my attitude, part of my character, and I wasn't aware as everyone else. Things happening, but we're not aware how thoughts can become part of our body. A thought can create pain. A thought can reclaim time from your life in a way you can even imagine. I've witnessed myself being in relationships that actually right now I feel like I shouldn't be, and always asking who was there. Because I realized that I was acting and developing and communicating through thoughts that were rewired with my past, but not with my one self, higher self, the one that I proclaim I am and I believe I've been, but I have lost the contact. Unfortunately, the families won't speak about all these things. These things you will discover for yourself. This is your journey. Life is the journey of self-realization, connection with your higher self, and beyond, with all your past lives and everything that will come. You are connected with everything, and these tiny particles of thoughts creating obstacles, but sometimes also can be used as tools of developing a side of seeing the things in a deeper level. So going back again to my past, and in your past also you might have your own experiences. Doesn't need to be actually connected, mutual with violence or similar, might be something else. Every experience that creates an unpleasant feeling to us creates something to us, becomes a volume, like a page, like a diary that we're writing down. With journalism of any kind, like I had a bad day, why you had a bad day, why you had these thoughts, all these are written inside of you. So seeing myself from 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, experiencing all this volume of violence around me in a daily routine, has become a routine for me, seeing all these incidents between two humans which supposedly should be there to protect me and make me feel inspired about life. I realized that slowly I'm starting feeling disconnect with them, but not with myself. I'm starting slowly realizing that we are responsible for our own way of thinking. We are responsible for our own way of dealing with the reality around us. And thoughts that proclaim time, and actually, as I said before, they are part of the volume of your mindset, because they are part of your subconsciousness. Sometimes when they come along, but let's say I had a fight with someone, or a disagreement, not fight, and I feel bad about it. I feel that very moment inside of me, all these memories, thoughts, volumes, downloads, constantly coming to me through the subconsciousness, like a fountain of moments. And they try to find a connection and express themselves, because I haven't dealt with them, I haven't dealt with them, find who they are, why they are there, and how I can proceed with them. So every time that something happens, can come as a fountain of memories, and try to find connections with your present time, with the incident, with the awkward moment that you have with your friend, with your partner, in your job role, you could find yourself feeling lonely without you being lonely. You might find yourself feeling a stranger, but you're not a stranger. You might find yourself that you have waves of anxiety and depression while there's nothing there. So actually thoughts, if we let them escalate to a certain point, they can take over our lives. And it's something that I've seen it, and it's something that I want to speak and in this first podcast. So the first thing that I try to do to myself, speak with myself, is write down everything. Take a piece of paper every day, a pen, anytime, and write down what you feel, why you think you're feeling that. If that incident that happened makes you feel the way you feel, is actually so serious that you're feeling the way you feel. And if you realize that no, actually nothing happened, I'm just overrating, just emotions and feelings that have been aroused by the thoughts, downloads, have come across me, and I've let them control me. So the moment that you feel the unpleasantness, that you feel lonely, melancholy, you feel depression, anxiety, unhelplessness, you feel that you've lost the whole world, that very moment, you need to keep a distance from your thoughts. A distance that will help you to see your thoughts as part of yourself, but not yourself. Your thoughts aren't you. Your thoughts are memories, as we said before, are memories from the past. It's still there inside of you, but actually past is not here anymore. So all these memories belong to the past, and nobody can hurt you. What I find very helpful is taking deep breaths. The moment I feel that thoughts are coming to my head, I'm closing my eyes and I'm taking deep breaths. Nothing else, just deep breaths. And I'm not saying you need to meditate or do something that should be done daily. It's up to you. You will see what works for you and is beneficial for you and what is not. For me, it's a deep breath. For you, could be go for running, slow jogging, could be listening to your beautiful music, a lovely track, could be washing the dishes, could be go for cooking. The moment you have thoughts, you need to realize where all these thoughts are coming from. When you feel unpleasant, you need to realize that you came here to live a fulfilled life of happiness and joy. This is life. And everything else is a glitch. This is how I see it. So I'm not saying that you have to laugh at all times. No, I'm not meaning that. I mean feeling content inside of you, complete. And there are some thoughts, as I call them sometimes, parasites, that have grown with you. As I said before, the incidents with my father stayed with me, become volume of my life. They didn't let me, or I have let these thoughts, parasites, downloads, to look after me, thinking that this is the right thing for me. But actually, what is right for me is to keep a distance and become a watcher. A watcher of my own thoughts, or the thoughts. As you look in the sky and you see the cloudscapes floating, going from left to right, as you deep breathe in and out, you can see the same way your thoughts are coming and going. And the thoughts that is for you, and they speak to your higher self, and you are aligned with them here and now, is this thought that will bring a smile to you, inside of you. And maybe you will smile also yourself. So I realize all these thoughts, parasites, memories, created an unhappiness and unwillingness to live my life fully. So I think I've touched a deep chord over there for me, and I hope for all of you out there. Sometimes we can say to ourselves, or ask ourselves, can we vision the past in the present time? And I might say yes. This is how works the memories, thoughts, parasites. They stay with us, and they grow within us. And when the time comes to feel fulfilled for everything we have achieved and experienced in life, we feel there is a gap inside of us. There is something, a disconnection, something that creates a space between us and the living. And these are the thoughts that is inside of us, and they have recreated themselves in a feedback effect, as a constant loop inside of us. So I feel the only way to observe these thoughts and see from where they're coming from is watch them and examine them. Write down everything you feel at all times. Slowly, that writing down will become part of your daily routine. And through this daily routine, you will start meeting yourself, your higher self. The being, the divine being that was there, but actually couldn't find the light, the air and the soil to grow, to put the roots and reach the sky. And the way to do that is by you be present to the moment, here and now. There's nothing else. There's only here and now. As you breathe, you're always thinking that it's only here and now and nothing else. The thoughts are cloudscapes that are coming and going. When you feel frustrated for something, when you feel lonely, you just deep breathe and think, here and now, I am my highest self. And by watching your thoughts, you reclaim the space they had inside of you. And now, as an observer and watcher, you know them. And slowly, you can use them wisely, because this is the way the thoughts gives you the opportunity and the tools to go beyond and find yourself, meet yourself in a very deeper level. For example, how was that child, that boy, what it felt when it saw the father hitting the mother, when it observed that violence, how he felt. How can I help this boy? By doing that and not letting, just drifting inside the emotions and the feelings that, as a fontaine, as I said before, they coming and they take you over. You parallel, you try to investigate with very polite way your own existence. Your own existence, which is connected with everything. I feel all of us, we have similar experiences and similar pains and traumas, and the moment we are delving inside of us, we're discovering the reasons why we are feeling incomplete, why we're feeling lonely, why we have the need to drink or use substances, drugs, pills, alcohol, smoke, or even to use, consume junk food. All these are expressions of your thoughts, expressions of thoughts that made you feel bad for yourself, made you feel bad for your existence. But what we should do is forgive everyone and everything and try to investigate and come closer to that child, that boy, that girl that felt this way, and let it breathe. Bring it on the surface. How are thoughts controlling our mind? And if not, do the mind control the thoughts, or is the same? Thoughts are part of the process of your mind, but your mind is not you. Your mind is a process, is a processor, is a computer, is a hard drive, call it anything you like. But your mind is not your soul, is not your spirit, is not your life. Your mind is there to help you, but also, unfortunately, is there sometimes to navigate you to the wrong paths, with wrong people, doing wrong things, thinking and thinking and thinking, but not living. Thoughts are vibrations that you sending out there, firstly from inwards to outwards, and they create the environment you are. Thoughts are part of your own evolution, and the way you're thinking and the way you're mastering your thoughts, this is the way your life will demonstrate around you. Thoughts are part of our being, but not our being. It's a tool that you can use it wisely to learn and never forget the lessons and the points, the paths that you have walked with others, and mostly you have experienced yourself within. So actually watching the thoughts of yours coming through, in and out, daily, constantly, you are like a swimmer, like you're swimming in a deep sea of thoughts. You're always keeping yourself on the surface, and you try to keep yourself floating on the surface of thoughts, but you never try to go within and stay more than you need, because you will lose yourself. Always stay on the surface of your thoughts, and when you go in, always take a deep breath and come back again. A deep breath, dive in, and then come back again. I remember in 1996 I had an incident out of the blue. Was a fire in my house. I burned everything I had, all my belongings and virtual possessions, clothes, shoes, vinyls, cassettes, everything. And I might say it was an important momentum for my life, because created a lot of thoughts at the very moment. Panic created anxiety again, same pattern of feelings and emotions, but different thoughts. Sometimes I see thoughts that are like coming like leaves and from one tree, and it's grown and grown within you, and they can connect with in between them. So different incidents can actually connect each other while you're floating between time and space in your life, and you will find incidents from 6-7 years old being connected unconsciously with the incidents that happens when you are 20, 30, 40, and you find yourself wondering why and how is that possible, why I feel this gap, because it's the interconnection with all these thoughts, downloads that you haven't accumulated, you haven't dealt with them, you haven't learned them, you haven't created a friendship with them, and realize that aren't your thoughts, but actually there are memories, and there are thoughts that they are there are seeds. They have farmed your time, you have took what you have took from them, and that's it. What remains in the past needs to remain in the past, but never been forgotten. Always remember the deep sea of the thoughts, and you are a swimmer on the surface, and you're swimming pleasantly, you're floating. Floating. And if you want, you can dive in, take a deep breath, dive in inside your thoughts, and then come always on the surface. You go within, you see your thoughts, or the thoughts, you write for them. You observe them as a watcher, as you see the depths of the sea, and you come up on the surface. But always you stay in the surface. That means your thoughts is the sea that you're floating on, but not in, to retract my previous thought. So you stay in the surface, but not inside the thoughts. Because if you stay inside the thoughts, this is where you find yourself helpless, lonely. You find yourself feeling unpleasant of being alive. And life is a miracle here and now. So I want to go back to the story I was saying. 1996, I lost the house, or that house I was renting. So thoughts came to my head again: depression, anxiety, I'm alone, I don't have a family, there's no close friends. For somehow, any reason, that very moment, life was as it was. So I had two options. Or I will dive inside the thoughts and I will lose myself. Or I will stay on the surface and master myself while I'm swimming in the deep ocean of thoughts, of feelings and emotions. But always trying to be on the surface, mastering yourself, and within living, you will find yourself. So I took the decision to not to give up, and while there wasn't any possessions left, there wasn't any money, the house was destroyed completely, totally, I said to myself, okay, thoughts telling you that you are in a miserable situation, there's no family, what are you gonna do right now? You've lost. And myself, which didn't want to dive inside the thoughts, said, very interesting what's going on over here. Time to become the hero. Time to become your own hero. Time to take the decisions that will create for you new thoughts, and you're gonna rewire yourself with your personal divine creative knowledge. I stayed in this house, I painted, I started taking furniture from everywhere I could find. I started working. I was living in this house, there wasn't any windows, everything was black. I started changing the way I was thinking through these circumstances. I believe that when harsh circumstances hit you, seize them as a blessing and not try to avoid them by saying, "Oh, this is not for me. I don't want that in my life." But it's here and it's all yours. It's part of your miracle. And if you feel unpleasant, write down your thoughts. Why you feel unpleasant? What makes you feel unpleasant? What belief is rooted within you and makes you feel unpleasant when you are everything already? You are complete. You don't need anything. And the only thing you might ask from yourself is to deep breathe. And by breathing deep, you bring yourself where exactly it needs to be. Your higher self. Beyond thoughts and memories, you already exist. Thoughts and memories are just particles of living, and they create passages. They create particles of emotional statements, but it's not your life. Your life is not only to feel and become an emotional statement. Your life is to be, and that includes everything. So everything that happens in your life happens because you are here to experience everything and be blessed. I'm Ioannis, and you're listening to the first podcast, first podcast from the series Heal from Within, a podcast dedicated to love, light and healing. I hope you will find yourself wondering, thinking, feeling and complete. Life is a miracle, and we as divine creators, we need to understand who we are, why we're here, and how we can help our lives. Thoughts can become your enemy, but actually can become your best friend. Even the most unpleasant thoughts, if we realize why they're there, what they have to say to us, then we're going to realize that everything is here for a reason. Us to grow and reach the highest level of consciousness and communication with ourselves. Thank you for being here. Be yourself at all times, and always don't forget, stay in the surface, and when you dive in, take a deep breath and then come back again. Thank you.